Well, Dave, that must feel like a really frustrating night for you tonight.
Yeah, it is at the end, but I think I've got to be sort of true to what I've said to the players, if you like. Our performance, that's the you can't say the best performance of the season, but it's the performance of the season where we've had most control and we've seen bits that we've potentially tried to work on. Now we need to get the balance right between control and chance creation and opportunities that we potentially make. But ultimately we should have won the game and got ourselves in a winning position, and that was taken away from us.
You've created 17 chances, I think, tonight. I mean, enough chances to win 2 or 3 games this evening. Was there an issue there in the final third in terms of being a bit wasteful, maybe?
Listen, I don't think we've created really good chances. We've had a couple. Again, it's just around whether we're getting into those areas and whether we cross the ball or whether we try and recycle and build again. But there'll be some really good stuff in the game. And like I said, the frustration will be that we've not got the result that big parts of the performance probably deserved. And that's in part down to ourselves and in part down to decisions that have gone against us. So yeah, frustrated with the fact we've not won the game when we should have. I think the players would have got real reinforcement from that. But really happy with some parts of what we saw tonight.
It's good to hear you being so positive about the performance because, as I say, you dominated the ball, dominated the chances. But in the end, it was a story of 2 free kicks, one that was given and one that wasn't. What did you make of that little passage of play there where those 2 decisions came?
Yeah, listen, our friend with the whistle had to go for extra training after our game that he did last season due to a decision that he didn't make that was blatantly obvious, and he's made a mistake. If he owns up to it, it's a mistake. If he hides behind it, then he'll say he's done his job. But it's a blatant free kick in the middle of the pitch. It's not given, and he stood 6 yards away. And I suppose you could argue either way that the free kick he does give is 2 lads sort of wrestling for the ball and it's soft, but that still doesn't hide away from the fact that we have to defend the free kick, and people going back in have to do the jobs, and they haven't done that, and that's cost us. I'm sure they'll look back and think that they're worthy of a point based on the penalty being harsh. But the penalty's blatant, absolutely blatant, and John was a bit emotional on the touchline, but he's not seen it back. I've seen it back. It's a rugby tackle. And if that's not given, then we're in the wrong sport, and maybe the other sport they play in Northampton may be more suitable for some of their players. But that's a blatant penalty. And that's fine. Listen, water under the bridge for me, move on. But yeah, listen, we'll ask the question, but you're almost like, what's the point? I said it on Saturday, you want to get to the ball. I'm probably at peace with the fact that if a referee doesn't cost you the game, then it's probably the best we can hope for at the moment, with the inconsistent standard. But we have to deal with that. No one's going to change that. All of a sudden they're not going to get better magically. We have to tolerate it and put up with it.
I know you're managing your squad at the moment, managing the minutes for players. You've got this horrifically intense period coming. I think it's like 8 games in 3.5 weeks, something like that. But one player who plays pretty much week in, week out is your captain, Lewis Baton. Once again, he was excellent tonight, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was lucky around a booking for kicking the ball away, and then maybe something could happen later on. So he's lucky, and he needs to get better at that. But he was instrumental in terms of how we played. Him and Powley were really good in there, and Ollie, when he came on, were good. They will give us real control, and he'll get better with the more games that he plays. Hence why it would be stupid of him to get himself suspended and have to miss games. But no, he was like I say, gave us in the centre of the pitch most of that control. We still want him to look to play forward a little bit more, and teams will try and stop us, and we have to try and work that out. We just got to get the balance right at the top end of the pitch, really, around chance creation and how we put teams under pressure a little bit more. I can say I can understand why people get frustrated, but we're deciding to go, and we're going to go in a certain way, and we're all very aligned on that. We just need to get better at it, and that will happen over time. We're certainly not going to change and just start lamping the ball forward. So if that's what people are looking for, they're probably at the wrong place. And considering we're here, I think 7 out of our next 8 games, don't expect that to be different. We want to be better at what we do. We want to still be able to cross the ball, still at times play beyond presses, but try and have more control in the game. We've had that tonight, and maybe from our perspective, it wasn't the right thing to do because we didn't win the game. That won't stop our belief in that over the course of a longer period. That's what we see as the way that we will benefit and get the best out of the players that we've got, and we've just got to get, like I say, more efficient at it.
Is it almost an education piece for some of the fans, do you think? Because people, as you say quite rightly, I think some fans were getting a bit irritated at times tonight.
I don't know. You tell me if it's they'll say if it's an education piece. I think the way football is, it makes no difference. I think from a footballer's perspective and from a manager's perspective, you've got to be pretty thick-skinned, because regardless of the decisions I make and the decisions that players make, half or a third of people might be happy with him, a third people will not like him whatsoever, and a third probably can't be bothered. So, listen, I trust what we want to do as a collective within the football club, and we'll continue to move forward with that.
Jay Mingy was missing tonight, and still no Callum Camps. How are they both?
Yeah, Jay Mingy, a knock on Saturday, so knee and ankle, not too severe. Campsy, a bit of hamstring in training, so again, not too severe, but he's probably going to be a couple of weeks. It's higher up, and one that we need to be a little bit careful with, just because the position is on the hammy. So yeah, probably maybe 3 weeks or so with him, fingers crossed.
Just finally, Lincoln away at the weekend. A side pretty similar to County in their history, really, because won National League playoffs, won League Two, really established now at this level and always there or thereabouts of the playoffs. I know they've been beaten quite heavily tonight at Crawley, but a good side nonetheless, and that is going to be a real test at the weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, started the season really well. I'm on my pro licence with their assistant manager, Josie. They are very good at what they do. So they're probably pretty similar to what we were National League season. Know what the strengths are, play forward, counter press really well, put great delivery into the box. I think the highest scored team off set pieces. So we need to make sure that we're right on it. And if we defend like we did tonight, then it could be a long afternoon for us. But we'll go there looking to win, seeing how bodies are tonight. Like I say, the turnaround's pretty quick. We want to make sure that we continue with our identity of being really intensive with how we go about things. I thought we lost that a little bit on Saturday. It was better tonight, but that takes a big physical effort. And asking players to go again and again and again can sometimes be tough. So we'll pick a team there to go in. First off, be able to deliver what we want to deliver, and secondly, deal with the threats that they're gonna chuck at us and pose us, and we know what they're going to be. It's going to be, like I say, a physical battle. And first and foremost, we're going to have to see that off and deal with that, and stamp our style on the game moving forward.
Good stuff as ever. Appreciate your time. Thank you, Dave.